Hello, hello, and welcome in. So excited to be in this space with you guys today. And I'm so sorry I'm a few minutes late. My computer decided to reboot, so you know. Interestingly, today the topic is going to be shifting beliefs in a way that is sustainable. And the reason I say interestingly about my computer rebooting is one affirmation that I've been using lately is actually, I am allowed to let this land imperfectly. And what seems to happen when I'm in the process of shifting beliefs is my reality will start to reflect that change in consciousness back to me and put me in positions where I really get to practice that belief and let it land in my body. So during that whole process, I'm just sitting there like, it's okay. I'm allowed to let this land in perfectly. I don't have to come on exactly at 12 o'clock. The people that will understand are the people that I want in my community. So anyways, with that, let's kind of get into the workshop that I have planned for you guys, right? This masterclass, because today we're going to be diving deeply into reprogramming the subconscious mind. We're going to be talking about the fifth step in my 6-step belief process framework. Okay, so this is the fifth step. The fifth step is embody the new identity. Sorry, I'm just going to be kind of looking down at my notes just so you're aware. They're not on my screen today. So I frequently use my phone to add little insights and things like that whenever I'm driving or whenever information is coming to me. So I will be looking down occasionally. Don't worry, my focus is still on you. So embody the new identity. So, what I have found with manifestation work over the years is that most teachers don't actually acknowledge the nervous system. I first learned about the law of attraction, manifesting in about 2010, and I didn't really start to practice it and embody it until about 2018. Because in that year, I actually had this really beautiful insight that manifestation is about our identity, right? Our reality is a reflection of who we are. So it's not so much about gratitude and visualization, though those things are important, don't get me wrong, but it's more so about who are we being, right? What are our core beliefs? What are we reflecting into the world? And most of these core beliefs are developed in childhood. So a lot of times they're running in the background on like an unconscious level. But through my studies in psychology and relationships and world religions, I've actually been able to develop a process where we can bring those to the conscious mind and then repair them and shift them. So the 6-step process that I have developed, and I'm actually going to be teaching live starting on my birthday, May 11th. It'll be a 7-week class. We'll be getting into each step more deeply. So I've been able to develop this process to shift from awareness to repair to reconditioning really quickly. So today I want to dive in deeper to embody the new identity, which is step 5 of the 6-step process. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, what I have found is that most teachers miss the nervous system regulation part. Okay. So a lot of them teach I am statements, but if we have a core belief that we are not worthy, then we can't just start saying I am worthy and that will change our subconscious, because what actually happens is it triggers our nervous system and we don't believe it. And if we don't believe it, then it's not going to land in the subconscious. So, what I've actually found is I use something called permission consciousness to reach that first level. So my framework is actually 3 steps for this step. The first step is stability. The second step is ownership. And the third step is identity. And this is how we slowly shift our core beliefs in a way that is sustainable and manageable. Okay. In a way that will land in our body, and become our reality. So it's not something that we're just, repeating an affirmation over and over and hoping that it'll come true. It's like we're entraining our brain to believe this new reality and seeping it deep into the subconscious. So, like I was saying, that first step, stability, right? This is where we use permission consciousness instead of lying to ourselves, pretty much. So going back to the example of having a core belief that we are not worthy, right? So instead of just jumping to I am worthy, we can create stability by giving ourselves permission to be worthy. So we can use statements like, I am learning what worthiness looks like. And that is something that our nervous system can really settle into and create calm around, right? Because we can believe that. So when we're using an affirmation like I am learning what worthiness looks like, I'm learning what worthiness feels like, what ends up happening is our consciousness starts to create spaciousness between triggers and reactions. Okay. So we start to have a little bit of spaciousness. We start to see where maybe we're not actually practicing worthiness. Our reality starts to show us things, right? We're opening the door to shifting this belief. Okay. Um, and I'm going to keep this class a little bit short today because I have lots of things to do, honestly, and my son ended up needing a ride to work, so I had to skip my workout and all the things. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. So, anyways, so stage one, right? Step one is stability. It's that permission consciousness. It's like taking that first step and um, allowing ourselves permission to change, giving our consciousness that direction that we want to change. Okay. The second stage or the second step is ownership. So, this is when we have been practicing the stability for a little while and our reactions have started to change. Okay. So, this is when we can kind of shift that affirmation a little bit to I am choosing worthiness. I am available for worthiness. Okay. So instead of like, I am learning what worthiness is, now we're moving into it's a choice. I'm choosing this. Okay. I deserve to be treated this way. I deserve to take care of my body every day. Going back to the example of me jumping off early because I need to work out. So while I love you guys so much, I love myself more, honestly. Sorry, sadly, but I do. Anywho, so we move from stability to ownership. Okay. Um, in this stage, like I said, we feel like we have a choice. The pause happens more quickly. We're aware of the areas where we may not have been practicing worthiness, right? Um, so it's almost like I am choosing to live from this now, okay? In every moment, while also still giving ourselves grace because we're changing, right? And we're shifting. And something that I didn't mention is, oh, I did mention it briefly actually, is that these beliefs a lot of times are programmed into us from childhood. So we've been playing these tapes for years and years and years. And most of the time they've been unconscious, right? So this is going to take time. And with that knowing, we can give ourselves grace, right? um, and just realize that every opportunity is a chance to learn and to embody more or to practice. Forgiveness is even a worthiness practice. Like I'm worthy of forgiveness when I make a mistake, when I step off the path a little bit. So it's some effort, but it's starting to get easier, right? We have way more awareness now. It's starting to get easier. So the third step is the identity step, the identity stage. So we've moved from stability with that permission consciousness to ownership, the practice consciousness, and then we're moving into identity, right? So after we've been doing this for a while, it starts to become habit, right? Our brain starts to believe, wow, I really am worthy. And wow, she really is choosing worthiness. So it starts to embed in our subconscious as a core belief, right? Core beliefs are created through repetition and emotion. And also in my sixth step, which is fortify the new belief, I give you more practices that can help really land that new belief into your subconscious. So there's many ways we can do this: visualization, affirmations, as long as they're appropriate and not too far fetched. Affirmations are a great tool. Um, I use them in my everyday life all over the place. My alarms all have affirmations. I have a vision board above me with affirmations. I am actually uh, I have a left manifesting arrow in my human design. So that means that I have to be super specific when I want to manifest something. So I am statements work really, really well to me. Some people have a right arrow in their human design chart, which means that they can be more broad, this or better, this or better. I have to be super specific. And I feel like that's has been like almost a godsend for me, honestly, just because I have to my path has been one of getting super, super clear about what I want and what I deserve, right? So it's not this or better, it's this is what I deserve, and this is what I'm choosing, and this is what I'm not gonna settle for anything else, you know? So I am grateful for that, even though some people prefer the this or better. I am totally on board with figuring out exactly what I want. It's like, okay, universe, I hear you. So um, let's jump back into the third stage of identity, right? So this is where we've moved from I'm learning what worthiness looks like and feels like to I am worthy, and you just know it. Okay, at this point it's like you start to feel when things are off. Okay, you've been strengthening your solar plexus, which is where these powerful affirmations live in our body, and you start to feel when you're making choices that don't align with this core belief. Your body starts to let you know, hey, you're off course. You're not in alignment with your core belief anymore. Um, because we've been practicing this worthiness, right? And now I believe that we're worthy. And now you're making a choice where that doesn't align with that belief. And the body will actually start to give you signals like, hey, maybe we should think about this decision, etc. So we've moved through stability, ownership, and into identity. And this process can happen really fast. Sometimes it's slower, though. It depends on the belief, really. It depends on how long we've been playing that tape in our mind over and over and over. So, again, we just really need to give ourselves grace in this process. And working each one of the steps in my 6-step belief process really helps us to significantly decrease the amount of time that it takes to actually change these core beliefs, right? Because I'm moving you pretty much from awareness into repair, which is the fourth step, and then into the fifth and sixth step, which is reconditioning. Okay. Next week, I'll actually be sharing a video about the whole process because I'm going to use it in my course that I'm launching on my birthday, May 11th, as an overview of this belief process. So if you're interested in that, I hope to catch you then. Also, I am going to leave the link in the description for my course. If you are wanting to be held in a safe space while you're learning this process, I'm going to be leading a group of people um, into this change, into this beautiful world, right? I have been able to shift my consciousness from poverty to abundance, from unworthiness to worthiness. I have changed so many facets of my life in this way by inviting the nervous system into the process, by inviting repair, by deciding that this gets to be a slow process where I'm respecting my body, okay? And not just pretending, right? So let's see if there's anything else I wanted to say. I think that's it, guys. So I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you in the next one. I love you so much. And remember, you are worthy.